What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including CM Punk names potential opponents for a wrestling return, Bo Dallas with Alexa Bliss, why Lance Storm had to turn off Mania's triple threat match, why Edge was crying at WrestleMania, Charlotte is trolled about her appearance, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Our first story looks at CM Punk talking a wrestling return and possible opponents. While CM Punk has been busy with a number of projects outside of pro wrestling, questions inevitably turn towards a possible ring return. Recently, Uproxx's Raj Prasad interviewed Punk about his appearance in the upcoming film Jacob's Wife and asked under what conditions Punk might return to wrestling. I think the right combination could be maybe figured out, but it's also not for me to figure out. It's not my world anymore. I'm certainly not Hulk Hogan, where I'm gonna show up somewhere and no, this is how it's gonna be. The wrestling world doesn't necessarily need CM Punk, and that's absolutely fine. Everyone seems to be doing great. I don't know, it's like flavors of ice cream. I walk into an ice cream shop one time and I'm like, oh, that seems like a good flavor, give me 2 scoops of that. It's just gotta be the right time, right place, right situation. Punk doesn't seem to be in a hurry to return to the ring, but neither does he seem completely opposed to the idea. Wrestling Straight Edge Superstar went into detail about how things might play out if the stars aligned. From a creative mind standpoint, stepping back and looking at the landscape of everything, there are people in WWE that have wrestled before that maybe in a certain situation could be interesting. There's also the business side of things. What's the biggest possible match for CM Punk? I think there's Kenny Omega on the one side. Punk then turned to the WWE and discussed who his biggest opponent would be. The answer may surprise you. And unfortunately, ironically enough, for me to go back to WWE, who's the biggest match for me? It's probably Triple H. That's ironic because it's nothing I'm interested in. It's just what it is. I'm gonna be a businessman and say that's the match. That's the big money match. Well, it's not my money, so it's not for me to say. It's been over 7 years since Punk competed in the WWE, and there are so many top opponents besides Triple H that it's difficult to believe a Punk vs Trips rematch would be the big money match in the WWE. You might remember that Punk was supposed to face Triple H at WrestleMania 30, but he quit. Would you want to see that match? Or would you want to see a match against him versus Kenny Omega? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, why Lance Storm couldn't watch WrestleMania Night 2's main event. A former WWE superstar, Lance Storm, tried watching WrestleMania 37's triple threat main event between Edge, Reigns and Bryan, but just couldn't finish it. Was the match overbooked or lacking in storytelling? Well, no, Storm tweeted his reasons why he had to tune out. Legit had to turn off the main event. Was loving the match, but I get dizzy headaches from all the camera cuts and shaking. I can't watch it. Now, we've discussed the production team and their apparent belief they are avant-garde cinematographers. Although there's nothing wrong with the innovative production values and camera shots, the production team's #1 priority is to capture the action in the ring and let the wrestlers tell their story. Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff recently commented on the WWE's excessive camera cuts. When you don't have the cameras shooting in and out of fake camera shots and all that other vertigo bullshit people do, just watch this and tell me if you don't think this makes the story feel more real. What do you guys think of the WWE's camera cuts? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, AEW cracking down on spoilers. Now, the pandemic has seen the return of taped wrestling shows, a situation which is good in that it allows promotions to continue running events, but a situation which has been bad because it means fans can learn what happened before the show airs. While some fans enjoy knowing what happened ahead of time, promoters don't like it because it decreases ratings. But it seems that AEW is now cracking down on spoilers in the hope it can keep the results from its tape shows a secret. According to a recent report from Ringside News, during a recent Being the Elite, a sign was spotted backstage at Daly's place. This orange sign between 2 dry erase boards simply says, "Spoilers cost jobs, don't do it." The report contains no information on what will happen to anyone violating the policy, but it shows AEW considers a notable problem. Next up, Bo Dallas aligning himself with Alexa Bliss. Now, the rumors of Bo Dallas joining forces with real-life brother Bray Wyatt have been circulating for years, whether it was talk of Dallas joining the Wyatt family or Dallas appearing as a character on the Firefly Funhouse. Recent rumors even had some fans thinking Bo was the person portraying the extra crispy version of The Fiend at Backlash. While these rumors are borderline ridiculous, they continue to spread, with the latest coming from Sportskeeda suggesting that WWE is planning to introduce him, Bo Dallas, somehow in an ongoing program between Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt on Raw. What do you guys think? Could this be Alexa Bliss's way to destroy and defeat The Fiend? Who else would be a good pairing with Alexa Bliss? Personally, I think Aleister Black would be, but then again, he has to be on television for it to happen. Next up, Andrade's first post-WWE appearance. Andrade will be making his first appearance since the WWE granted his request for a release which incredibly didn't contain a 90-day no-compete clause. Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens reports that the former US champion will make a personal appearance at Huntington Park, California's The Wrestling Guy store on 2nd May. There are a number of packages available for the meet and greet, with the highest being $80. So far, Andrade hasn't announced any wrestling appearances, but he did hint on social media that he's signed a contract. Next up, why Edge cried at WrestleMania. WrestleMania 37 was an emotional event for the WWE Universe as well as wrestlers themselves, not only because it was their flagship pay-per-view, but because it marked the first appearance of wrestling fans since 2020's Elimination Chamber. Newly crowned Raw Women's Champion Rhea Ripley talked to TV Insider's Scott Fishman about the experience and how it was not only for her but for veteran grappler Edge. It was crazy walking through the curtain and seeing the crowd and how excited they were. All my dreams were coming true. It was something I worked toward for a long time. I was trying to hold it all together, telling myself, don't cry. Then I look over to Edge near me and he has tears in his eyes. He nodded at me and winked. I just lost it. I could not hold it together. Edge and Ripley's experiences reinforced the incredible interaction between superstars and the WWE Universe. The connection between WWE fans and its superstars is uncanny, with wrestlers feeding off the fans' response as they react to wrestlers' personalities and performances. And finally, Charlotte Flair blasts a fan who criticized her appearance. Last but not least, Charlotte Flair is making it clear she doesn't care what snarky fans have to say about her physical appearance. The Queen returned to this week's Raw claiming to be the new Charlotte Flair and taking out Raw Women's Champion Rhea Ripley and Asuka. Someone took to social media criticizing Flair's appearance, commenting she looked like a stick figure drawn by a 3-year-old. The tweet was subsequently taken down, eliciting the following fiery response from Charlotte Flair. Lord help me if I ever listen to a man's opinion on how I should look. As we've discussed numerous times, wrestlers are in a lose-lose situation when it comes to addressing trolls. On one hand, they may feel they may have to respond, but at the same time it encourages other trolls to attack them. Well, there you have it folks, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.